Now a give to Mostert running right. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Raheem Mostert taking it in from 24 yards out. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. So that pretty conclusively, I might add, shows you the perils of going for it and not making it on fourth down. One play, touchdown.
Yeah, and I've got to put this on the man in charge, the head coach. He made the decision to go for it. To me, when punting was the only decision to make, and it backfired on him in a big way.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes this a 14-8 ball game.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. Charles, we'll see how this offense responds. Remember, the last time they were out, they went for it on fourth down, did not get it, and that led to a touchdown on the other side. So they need a response here.
They certainly do, and I just have a question for you. You think that was a gut feel, or was that analytics that came into play there, deciding to go for it on fourth down?
That felt like gut to me. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely, because the way it backfired, where they are in the game, all those things, that didn't feel like an analytics call. That certainly felt like, hey, I feel like we can get this right now. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them.
Here's 2nd and 10. Being chased out left. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. Watson trying to get his guys moving. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Now we're behind his man, incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And look at this, it's a fake. And this is caught. And he will be out of bounds, well shy of the marker. So that's a turnover on downs. Great job defensively. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. They hand it off to Mostert. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 78 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. Veteran running back like him, we've seen a lot of those chunk carries in his career.
And that's why you don't just look at his birth certificate and decide when a guy is done, right? Because you know as well as I do, in this league, as soon as you hit 30, they're looking to let you go if you're a running back. Sometimes there's a little tread left on the tires.
And he'll take this down to the 33.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
On 2nd down, Mostert. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Now Tua. That is caught. He's going to pick up the first down and then some. And finally down at the 9-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he's got it. Touchdown. Tyreek Hill on the touchdown pass from Tua. And the Dolphins will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Partner, to me, that touchdown had something that was kind of rooted in that group seeing the future. What I mean by that is they had a plan. Let's find a way to score right here before the half. And that'll give us momentum going into the second half. Give us that cushion that we're looking for. They got that accomplished, scoring right before the half ended.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes it 21-8.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he returns this to the 22.
The Browns take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Now it's Watson. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Now Watson. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
Again, it's Watson. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Watson's throw taken in by Cooper here. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. Hopkins' kick is good, and that gets them back within 10. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break.
Browns 11.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. A very interesting call and one that backfired. I know they're losing Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators, they sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I'll guarantee he's been selling this one. We can get it, coach, we can get it. And that came together with that sense of urgency you talked about.
A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
And no luck at all to start this drive as they're going to drop him behind the line for a second straight play. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted.
Picked up by Denzel Ward. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
After the interception, here's Watson. And his throw here's incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
Faking the give, now Watson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
Off of play action, it's Watson. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Here we go on 4th. Watson, he'll buy some time right. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't been at its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
On 3rd down, here comes Mostert. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the 1st down. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a 1st down.
Tua on 4th down, and he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it, and that will force a turnover on downs. Guys, man complete over the middle. That's more. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18. Steps away to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Pretty good 1st down play. Keeps them ahead of schedule, as they say.
And ostensibly, they could go right back to it because there are multiple options on this play.
Hand it inside. Quarterback tucks it and keeps it. Quarterback throws the ball downfield. You should be able to react to the defense and have an option available on every snap.
And the Browns are going to be set up with a first and goal as strong running gets them to the 9-yard line.
Here's Watson out to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. That's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Chubb is into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds.
Okay, they went for the fake off of the extra point attempt. It's a long way to go, and they didn't get there. Didn't get it completed successfully. Did someone dare them to do that? Did someone double dog dare
I was
to do
going to
that?
ask you, maybe they saw something on film, but do you see something on film when it was to try something from the 15 on the PAT? I don't know.
The only thing they needed to see on film there was a snap, a hold, and someone kicking the ball through the post.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. First and 10 here.
Over the middle, complete. It's Hill. And he's taken down inside the 30. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On first down, Tagovailoa. Oh, and a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. Another connection between the two. This one good for 12 and a first down.
And not all spectacular catches are the result of a pass that maybe was not thrown quite right. Sometimes it's thrown in the perfect spot, and you have to just go get it. And he did that right there.
No fear there in the middle of the field.
And the Dolphins are going to have a first and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. Flush to his right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Braxton Berrios from 3 yards out.
And the Dolphins are able to build on to their fourth quarter lead.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to 11.
Next to score, Dolphins 28, Browns 17. Jason
Now
Sanders
after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
The Browns take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Now a first down throw, Watson.
Right back to Njoku.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up second down.
Gain of 5 brings up second and 5 at the 45-yard line.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey.
And the Dolphins are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Well, time, I mean, certainly not on their side offensively. They had to take some chances, but that interception will further hinder their already slim chance at victory.
Yeah, and you're talking about time not on their side, but it certainly is on the defense's side, and they understood that. They knew they had to press it a little bit, and they planned accordingly, and what a benefit for them, able to pick that one off and hopefully put this game away.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
Here's Mostert, toss left side.
And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Big impact play, a tackle for loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Once again, it's Mostert.
And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. From midfield, here's Tua.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. There he goes again.
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 50 yards.
And the Dolphins have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead is up to 18 now. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
From the gun, here's Watson.
Into the hands of Cedric Tillman.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
On 1st down, it's Watson.
On the throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
2nd and 10.
To the air yet again, Watson. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted.
Picked up by Javon Holland.
And a big return will get him all the way down to the 35.
And that pretty much has been the storyline, Charles. This defense, they seem to be one step ahead from the start of the game until now.
And you identified it perfectly, and we can see the frustration They're settling in now, and it's probably been there for a long time, but now it's evident because you can see it in their faces, you can see it in their body language, maybe even a little bit in that play call that ended up maybe closing them out.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape. I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef, they want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it.
So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once.
And now Watson throws another interception. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins will take over here at their own 14-yard line.
This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race.
Tyreek Hill.
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyreek Hill taking it in.
And the Dolphins up the lead to 4 scores now here in this 4th quarter.
Well, partner, when a team's up this big, this late in the game, I always wonder what's their motivation, because if it's me, I'm thinking about pulling on the reins a little bit. But for them, I don't think it's in their DNA. It's not in their head coach's makeup at all. I think his opinion is, you stop us, we're not supposed to pull back ourselves.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. To throw is Watson. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45.
And the Browns, 1st down.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Flushed out right.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Watson off play action.
He's got his target. That's complete.
Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. He hit his first. Now this from 43. And it's a fake. He's going to throw it. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete.
So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And really, it looked at times like they just had this one in cruise control out there.
Yeah, they deserve a ton of credit because